Hi everyone, I'm Tony Lankford.
And I'm Nanette Lankford.
And we're here at the Actors Lounge TV show on the set of the new motion picture, The Best and the Brightest. Now what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be trying to get some interviews with some of the producers, so sit tight, we'll be right back. Hi everybody, this is Tony Lankford again for the Actors Lounge TV show. We're here with Patty Weiser, one of the producers of The Best and the Brightest. Patty, how are you?
Very well, very well.
That's
Having
good.
a fun day.
That's great, that's
Yes.
awesome. Tell us about being a producer. What does a producer do?
You know, I've just found this out over the last 8 months because I'm actually a lawyer by trade.
Okay.
What I did as a producer on this film was raise the financing for the film, which of course is one of the more important parts of, you can't get the ball rolling without the money.
Sure.
So we got the money together. And then we brought on two other gentlemen, Nicholas Simon, who is kind of our creative producer. He came on early, back in like February, March, and he's responsible for deciding what all we need and what we need to get together. One of those things was hiring Declan Baldwin, who was our co-producer. And those two guys and myself as a team on this project have hired everyone, got everything in place, got everything that needs to get done from a business perspective, physically producing the film.
Okay.
That's what you do. You make shit happen.
Right. Now, when you're on location, what is your day-by-day operation? How do you start your?
Well, I generally start my day at the law firm
Okay.
to try and get some work done. But then I come to the set, and really my job as it's evolved through this project is just managing whatever needs to be managed on any given day, whether it's people or places or whatever the thing is. Something comes up and someone needs something done, and you just got to make sure it gets done.
Okay.
We have a fantastic crew, and it's made my life very easy during the course of the day, where you need to manage expectations, make sure everybody's happy, and getting things done that they need to get them done. And
Great.
It's
Great.
been a wonderful experience on this project.
Tell us about The Best and the Brightest. What is that movie about?
It is about a couple from Delaware. They have a 5-year-old daughter. They decide to move to the big city. They're going to try and make it there, fulfill this dream of theirs. And the film follows the crazy antics they go through to get their 5-year-old into a private kindergarten.
Wow.
There's sex, there's intrigue, all the things that come along with trying to get your 5-year-old into, a private school in New York.
Wow. Now, we're in Philadelphia, but
Yes.
Philadelphia is supposed to be what, New York?
We're shooting for New York, yes. And we do that a lot in Philly. We originally were looking to shoot this in New York, and the tax credit in New York was pulled. So 2 seconds later, we said, Philly's very nice in the springtime. They have a lovely, lovely tax credit, and the film office is fantastic. So we moved down here immediately. Myself and the other 2 investors on the project are all from Philly. So we were thrilled to be able to make a movie in our backyards. I get to come home to my kids at night. And I love the idea of building this business in my hometown.
Great.
And the crew is predominantly from Philly. It's a wonderful crew, like I said. And shooting Philly for New York is a lot of fun. I dare anyone to try to, point out where Philly is in this movie once it's done.
Great, wonderful. Now, you're a producer. What advice would you give to anyone that wanted to go into the entertainment field as a producer? How would they do that?
I think you really want to try and work with the most experienced producer you can, in whatever capacity you can do it in. I mean, you start small. I was fortunate enough, because I came in as the financing, I get to have whatever job I want, frankly. But that said, I've surrounded myself on this project with the experienced people who know how to produce a film. So to the extent that I want to continue doing this and do it again, and I do, I think the best way to do it is to find someone who can mentor you and teach you what it is you need to do to be successful in this field. And I'll tell you, Nicholas and Declan have been wonderful to me and allowed me to join myself to their hips, and I've done that.
That's great.
And it's been an amazing experience.
That's great.
Yeah.
Patty, thank you so much. I know you're busy. You have to get back to the set.
My pleasure,
So
yes.
I'm gonna let you get back.
Okay,
all
thank
right?
you.
And this is, again, Tony Lankford for the Actors Lounge. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Thank you.
Off your mind and enjoy this time that we spend. It's always good when we come together.
Hi, I'm Tony Lankford on the set of the Best and the Brightest movie here, right here in Philadelphia. We're on set, so we got to be quiet because they're getting ready to shoot a scene.
It feels like home, just like home, just like home, just like home. Yeah, that's home. Now when times get tough, then you've had enough. You need to know the door's open wide. There's always a place that's gonna shelter you from the crazy world outside. Now just say.
Hi, I'm Tony Lankford. Welcome back to the Actors Lounge TV show. We're here with one of the producers of the film The Best and the Brightest, Mr. Declan Baldwin. How are you?
I'm doing good, Tony. Nice to see you.
Thank you. What does a producer do?
Oh, my Lord. I knew you were going to ask that question. You know, I'm a member of the Producers Guild of America, and they recently sent me a poster, and the poster is produced by, and it lists all the things that a producer really does. But I haven't even taken it out of the box yet.
So I would imagine it's a pretty hands-on job.
I'm the physical producer. There are a lot of different producers on movies. You know, Robert and Patty are producers on this film, but they really dealt with the finance. Nicholas Simon is a producer, and he really dealt with the talent. I'm the physical producer, and I dealt with and deal with all the day-to-day operations for the movie. You know, the hiring of all the personnel. You know, our first AD, our cinematographer. You know, putting them together with the director, helping him to make those choices. And really just managing the general manager. I'm the general manager of the movie.
Okay. Now, how do you deal with the day-to-day operations? Do you deal with the actors? Do you deal with, you said you deal with the hiring of the cast sometimes and the crew. What's that like? Walk us through that.
Well, first let me say that I do deal with everyone. For instance, I'm sitting with Chris McDonald yesterday talking about his nudity rider.
Okay.
You know, saying, hey, can you sign on the dotted line so we can see your behind? Am I, on this show, negotiating their deals up front? No. Do I have a lot of contact with them in the course of the day? Yes. But it's really about being in service to them.
Okay.
You know, I'm the producer that's in service to people. You know, what do they need? And if they need something, more than likely they'll come to me.
So you're the go-to guy.
I'm the go-to guy.
Okay. Great.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Now, was this an ambition that you've always had? Did you always want to be a producer, or did you start out being a producer, or did you just kind of fall into it?
No. My only ambition was to get involved in the movie business, and I answered an ad in the back of the Village Voice in the summer of 1985, and I got a job as an unpaid intern. And I did that whole film that summer, and that was 35 movies ago.
Wow.
And I've never done anything else for a living.
Wow. So I guess you enjoy it. You enjoy what you do.
Yes.
Okay.
As soon as I did that picture, I knew I was home.
Okay. So
Like, I knew it.
do you consider yourself an independent producer, or are you on like salary or hire for a studio?
No, I'm a gun for hire. I'm absolutely a gun for hire. As many producers are, I'm a freelancer. You hire me for this movie, I dedicate myself to this movie, and when the movie's over, that's it.
Yeah. So you start looking for another job after that.
Yes. Or hopefully your agent finds you another
Right.
job.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you market yourself? You market yourself through an agent normally, or?
You know, I didn't get an agent until later in my career, and it wasn't really about finding jobs, it was really about negotiating deals. Because it starts to become a tough relationship to negotiate with the people that you're about to be in service to. But no, agents usually don't find the jobs for me.
Yeah. Plus, basically, no one can light the fire under what you're doing except for you. you know, and you're the best one out there to market yourself, I would imagine.
Yeah, the business is a little funny that way. I mean, I would say it's based almost entirely on what you did last.
Yeah.
I think they hired me because I recently I was the co-producer, the physical producer of Adventureland. You know, released in 1,800 theaters, lots of advertising. It was sort of a talked about film.
Yeah.
And, you know, people pick up on that. Oh, they did Adventureland. And, you know, earlier in my career it was, oh, he did Far From Heaven, or he did the Laramie Project, or, you know, you got to do films that people recognize.
Yeah, absolutely. As a producer, what type of advice would you give those who are looking to go into the entertainment field and to be a producer? What would you tell them?
Stay out. That's what I would tell them. Stay out. And I would tell them to stay out so there'd be less competition. Because there are a lot of very, very smart people coming up.
Yeah.
But not very savvy, like a lot of intelligent young people, but not very savvy. You know, I think a movie producer really has to be savvy because you're dealing with a lot of people who are often demanding, and a lot of people who have high expectations.
Okay.
So what would I say? I would say, do yourself a favor, be an unpaid intern, work on a movie, and see how you feel. Because you'll know quickly whether it's for you or not. I knew it was for me.
Great.
And I lasted it out the test of time.
Great. That's wonderful.
And I've been able to earn a living always making films.
Great. Wonderful. So it's in your heart.
I don't know if it's in my heart. I would say it's in my belly.
It's in your belly? Okay.
Yeah. I really had that, you know, burning desire to be in the mix.
That's good.
And I would say that's where it is, not in my heart,
Great.
in my belly.
Great. Declan Baldwin, it's good having you on the show.
Tony, thank you
here
very
on the
much. I
Actors Lounge.
appreciate it.
We'll be right back after this commercial.
1945. The war is over. A military journalist sent to cover the peace is about to become part of the story. If war is hell, what comes after?
An American serviceman turns up dead on the eve of the peace conference. The Russians want us to go away. We want it to go away too.
Whoever wanted him dead had access to the delegations. That means somebody pretty high up.
What's your angle?
Why do I have to have an angle? My driver, a kid named Tully. The Americans are looking for him, and the Russians. Why?
Where'd you get those bruises on your face? Wasn't over a girl, was it?
I show up in Berlin, and the driver assigned to me is running around with my old girlfriend.
I'll get you out of here. You watch.
That's a coincidence.
You should never have come back to Berlin.
If I can find you, so can they. What is it you're not telling me?
I would have gotten you out. I still would. You can never really get out of Berlin.
You've seen what one bomb can do to a city. That's the future. Future of mankind's in our hands.
She's playing you, Jake. You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Who got to you?
I'm gonna know.
You find that girl. We'd like to talk to her. Get out now. Go. Before you get hurt.
Let's not forget that we are fighting for peace and for the welfare of mankind.
I'm Nakia Palombi, and I'm here on set for The Best and the Brightest with director Josh Shelov. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Josh.
I'm from New York, very much loving being here in Philadelphia making the movie, but New Yorker, born and raised, started out as a writer, and this is my first time directing a feature, very lucky.
Tell us a little bit about the script.
Well, it's a farce. My co-writer Michael Yeager and I were very eager to do a movie in the vein of Tootsie and A Fish Called Wanda. Those are two of our favorite comedies of all time, and we feel like there are a lot of romantic comedies around, but not as many farces, and a really good farce is pretty rare, so we really wanted to sort of take a swing at that. And at the same time, in real life, both he and I are parents, and we had gone through the rigmarole of trying to get your kid into a private kindergarten, which is at its most extreme level in New York and some other, fancy schmancy cities, literally a blood sport. And so it felt like very much a ready-made farce, and so those two interests converged.
And how has it been working with Neil Patrick Harris?
Oh, it's just incredible. He's remarkable. He's really amazing. It was one of those things where very, very quickly it becomes an unthinkable situation that it could be anyone else. He is just so gifted at the smallest moments, and most of his part, which I think is so difficult to do, is just the tiniest of basically dying on the inside of embarrassment kind of moments, and he is so brilliant at them. It is really, really a wonder to see. Honestly, as focused and disciplined and as brilliantly talented as anyone I've ever worked with, actor or no, really amazing, really amazing.
Now this is an ensemble cast.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So have you had much improv, or is it very script-based according to how
They've relatively followed the script. We have a limited time to shoot the picture, and we've definitely worked it out pretty well. So we've had a few really inspired improvisations, especially from Amy Sedaris, who really is a force of nature unto herself. Other than that, I say we've fairly followed the script.
So, what was the most notable thing that's happened on set thus far?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, here, the thing that I was thinking is literally sort of quasi-act of God is, as you know, it's been an incredibly rainy June, like the most ridiculously rainy June ever. And if we were shooting a sports movie or something that really needed to be shot predominantly outside, we would have been dead, absolutely dead. As it happened, over the last few weeks, we've had 4 out of 5 days of rain. And on both weeks, we had 1 day of exterior shooting schedule, and that was the 1 day each week that it did not rain. It's been utterly remarkable.
That is awesome.
Total, like, the film is being guided by the stars kind of good fortune. So very, very lucky. Yeah. So when I say that Philadelphia is treating us well, I mean Philadelphia is really treating us well. Yeah.
Have you gotten a cheesesteak yet?
I have several, yes. Too many.
That's good, we're glad.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Oh, not at all.
Any more of your time.
Not at all. Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome back to Tony Lankford, the Actors Lounge. We're here with Emily Tremaine. How are you? It was a pleasure to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Tell us what you're doing out here tonight.
We are doing a movie called The Best and the Brightest.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
It is, I play a character named Micah, and the film is about a family who has a 5-year-old kid that they're taking to try to get them into a private school in New York City.
Awesome.
And they have very little time, and they're trying to do it as quickly as possible. They're doing the impossible, really.
Absolutely. Tell us, what is your main role in this film?
My role is a character named Micah, who one of the characters called the Player takes out to a swingers club.
Interesting.
Very good. Great to talk to Mom about. And he cheats on his wife with me, and but that's what you do when you go to swingers clubs.
Absolutely.
I've learned this.
So, in the role itself, how does it make you feel to be playing such a role?
Oh, it's so much fun because she's described as a jaded hottie in the Lohan mode. Like, that's the actual character description, and like, you go out and you see girls like that all the time, and it's so fun to be able to actually play it, you know, and have an excuse to be ridiculous.
So actually what she's saying, she's actually playing the naughty girl role. Tell us about this role.
Definitely, well, as you can see from what I'm wearing, definitely a naughty girl. But, you know, it's been so much fun, and Chris McDonald is the player, and I don't know if you've met him, but he's amazing. He's great.
So, in your pursuit of doing the role, tell us what kind of great advice you could give anyone that would like to be an actor.
Oh, just do less. Just keep. I mean, I really just sort of look at people in clubs, and that's what that's how I prepared for this role. It really wasn't that much, but sort of like the less you think about it, the better.
Tell us, how did you actually get started? How did you know that this was something that you absolutely wanted to do?
I was a dancer for a long time, and I was in the musical Fame, and I had an accident, and I was in a wheelchair. And so from this wheelchair experience, I choreographed the High School Musical, and I was Bye Bye Birdie. And so I looked at Bye Bye Birdie and watched the actors and was like, I could totally do that. I don't need to be a dancer, I could be an actress. So
that's wonderful. Now,
and I studied in school and in college.
So are there any encouraging words that you could give anyone that would like to embark on doing and being an actor?
Never give up. Never give up, and you have to be. One of my teachers told me you have to be as tough as nails.
Okay.
And you really do, especially when you go out for so many parts where the girls are dressed like this, and you sit in a waiting room, and there's 1,500 brunettes that could do the part just as well as you, and you have to make choices when you get a script, like especially something with very few lines.
Okay.
Like, you know, the more choices you can make, the better.
So basically you're saying just to stay in there, be focused, be determined, and no matter what happens, just continue to pursue it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Completely.
Thank you so very much. It was
So
a
nice
pleasure
meeting you, Nanette.
meeting you.
Hi, this is Tony Lankford again for the Actors Lounge. We're here with one of the producers of the Best and the Brightest movie being shot right here in Philadelphia, Nicholas Simon. Hi, Nick. How are you?
How you doing, Tony?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Tell us about what it is that makes you want to produce a movie.
What makes it? First of all, I think the passion of the director. Well, it depends on how it comes across. Whether it's a great script or whether it's a director who has a project they want to do. With this, it's all in one package. With Josh having co-written the script, and he has intense passion, and he also wrote a great script.
Now, what is the story about, The Best and the Brightest? Tell us what it's about.
It's probably not the best person to pitch it, but it's a story of a couple from Delaware having an opportunity to live their dreams in New York, and then it's a comedy of errors of them trying to get their child into an elite private school.
Okay. Now, I know that one of the other producers was telling me that Philadelphia is supposed to be New York. How did that happen?
Well, first of all, the tax incentive, because before I was on the project, they were looking at shooting it in New York. For this budget, it was for the budget they have, it was unrealistic to get the production value that they were asking for. The rebate fell apart in New York. Philadelphia and Pennsylvania has a great one, and then we realized not only with the rebate, but then also just in terms of this being a film-friendly town, that we could get a lot more for our money.
Great. Now, were you always a producer, or is this something that you just fell into, or just signed on to?
I was drunk at a bar in Saigon.
Okay. And they give you a tattoo, and then you walk out with it.
I convinced one of the heads of Ogilvy and Mather in Southeast Asia. I was there, thinking I was going to be a journalist, and with a French guy who was a production manager on a film called Cyclo that won at Venice. We convinced the regional head of Ogilvy and Mather that we could make TV commercials, and I knew nothing about it, and that was the start of my film career.
Wow, that's great. Any advice for any of those that are in the entertainment field that want to be a producer or looking to produce feature films or even independent films?
Never take no for an answer. It's. I mean, I think we're in a wild time, in a time that I think you can look at. You can come up with there's always every excuse not to do something, but you have to find at least one excuse to do it. And I think that there's a real paradigm shift going on of both in financing and distribution and marketing. And if you be inventive. And it doesn't take money. It takes. I mean, even if you have $50 million, you want 70. If you have 50,000, you want 700,000. So it's just work within the means and be honest with yourself up front about what the expectations are.
They always say in Hollywood, it's not who you know. Well, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Is there any truth to that?
Well, after who you know, you better fucking know. You better know. You better have the goods to back it up. I mean, I always say it's a third talent, third who you know, and a third luck. But you can't. I mean, there are some people I wouldn't want their careers that go solely on who you know. But it's all the beautiful thing about the film industry is that you can be the PA one day or shooting behind the camera there, and then one day something else happens. But it's just about seizing every opportunity.
Yeah, that's good. If you could sum it up in one phrase, how to be a producer, what would you say?
First, what is it? God, how to be a producer. I think you've got to have balls and you have to be honest.
So you're from LA. How do you like working in Philly?
Absolutely love it, and it's. I lived on the East Coast a long time ago. I just found out I was conceived in Narberth, so I have tied here, but it's incredibly film friendly. There's the tax incentive that we came for, but it's also we're really able to cheat New York, Philly for New York, and so for our limited budget, we're able to get a lot greater production value.